Our topic that we wanted to present about was mental health among college students here at PSU. We wanted to interview Portland State students and ask them a little bit about the resources they utilize to consult their mental health issues, whether that be counseling, professors, or other faculty members, how they feel supported here at PSU regarding the culture and community, and what stigmas they might face perpetuated either onto them or personal stigmas students might hold that interferes with their ability to seek help. Our group researched possible solutions proposed from research articles and trials, identifying that college students are the first to develop disorders and do not realize that they can be treated, and that institutions can develop effective strategies to address the natural rise in young adults at their institutions coming to terms with their identity and mental struggles. While interviewing students and a faculty member, we saw the solutions proposed from our research reflected in the responses. Sebastian is going to get started and talk to us about same-day counseling.
Great conversations, as you can see in the video. Today I'm reflecting on Angela's answers, which I thought were all good. He was a great guy. Awesome to meet him. Had fun doing it on the interviews. I love that he said he feels supported as a student. When we talked about how his mental health was here at PSU, he felt supported, and he knows the resources on campus such as SHAC. I'm like, as a freshman, that's a good thing to know where pretty much everything is, at least some of the things, because it's good to know. If you need the help, you can always reach out to either SHAC, or if you need a place to study, go to one of the cultural resource centers. So that's good. I asked him if he felt the stigma here in the community for asking for help, and he responded with no. He never felt no stigma for seeking help. Whenever he needs the help, he goes and asks. He says it's not too hard for him, which is a good thing, because a lot of people, including myself, have a hard time reaching out, and it's good to know that someone is not afraid to ask. Because he had a very good quote that I liked, was, as an adult, you need help at some point in your life, which is very good to hear. And hopefully whenever I need the help, I'll go out and reach out. I asked him about mental health days off and what's stopping him from doing so. Of course, the answer was, he has a bunch of assignments and studying to do, which is very, very reasonable, I will admit. Sometimes it's hard for me to take days off also, and a bunch of other students I interviewed too. You just get very little time for yourself because you have all the assignments and everything's due. It's very hard to just get in some free time or a couple extra hours of sleep because of school, and that's very hard for students because it produces a bunch of anxiety and sleep deprivation, so it's very bad. And then finally, I asked him the question of same-day therapy and counseling, if that would benefit students here at PSU, which a lot of other schools are implementing for students, and I think it's a great idea if we did that here at PSU. I think I read something while we were doing interviews that it was gonna happen eventually, or is happening now. I don't know, but I'll look into it further. But he definitely said that it would help in for drop-in appointments and same-day counseling, just to have someone to talk to. He feels that it would benefit the school, and that it would be a great idea. And I think so too, because 49% of students felt that their mental health was getting impacted because of the academics. So that's if we have drop-in hour or drop-in counseling, it would benefit students mostly just to relieve stress and vent for a couple of minutes or hours and just talk to someone, because that would relieve a lot of stress and anxiety and would help us as students. I really had a nice time talking to Angelo, and on to the next person.
Sydney, a junior who also goes to PSU, shares little details about her balance between mental health and academics. We asked her whether she is hesitant to take mental health days and what is holding her back from taking a break for herself. She explains, I am hesitant sometimes because I feel like there is a pressure to work or keep working and not sustain yourself or your needs and your ability to live first. But I know once I take those mental health days and I feel like 10 times better. It can be extremely difficult to find the right time to let yourself take a break, but it is absolutely necessary. She also mentions that she tends to bite the bullet and suck it up. I find it interesting that college students feel the need to sacrifice their well being in order to succeed. I love that Sydney tells us the realities of mental health as a college student. Sydney gave us great answers during her interview, but it is also great to get a professional's opinion as well. Dr. Angela Thiessen from Mayo Clinic Health System explains the importance of taking mental health days. She sees many benefits in taking mental health days because it can reduce feelings of burnout, improve your morale and attitude, as well as your resilience and physical health. Stress can also weaken your immune system too. It is important to try and find time for yourself, whether that feels selfish or not.
The last student that we interviewed was Shyla, a freshman here at PSU. Shyla talked a lot about her friends and her community being an important factor in her mental well-being. When asked, without seeking help, what are coping mechanisms that you use to deal with mental health on your own, Shyla confirmed that she mainly relies on her friends and community outlets to keep her spirits high, like the Pan-African Common Room for Black and African students at the Multicultural Center, where we interviewed Shyla. Shyla quickly added that she does not use any of PSU's resources to deal with her mental health when asked if she does use any resources available to her as a student. Just from those responses, we gathered that Shyla was more dependent on social interactivity and a sense of comfortability within her community to maintain her mental well-being. And this probably has a lot to do with the lack of public stigma towards mental health at PSU. According to a research article published in the Medical Care Research and Review about stigma and help seeking for mental health among college students, the researchers define that stigma reduction is a central objective of national mental health policies and allows students to go and reach out for help without feeling ashamed. It is evident that Shyla finds comfort within her community because she does not face any public stigma if she ever opens up about her mental struggles. Her friends are open to having these conversations and do not transfer any stigma that would allow Shyla to consequently shy away and be unopen to vulnerability. We also learned that Shyla regularly takes mental health days off, going as far as saying, I think I take too many mental health days off. The anxiety that Shyla feels leading up to making that decision to take the day off is in parallel to the anxiety that students like Sydney feel because Shyla knows when her mental health is plummeting and feels no shame to take the day off, whereas students like Sydney evaluate their busy schedules and academic deadlines and plan their breaks around that. This mindset for Shyla can also be attributed to the shared belief within her community that mental health days are important. Shyla also maintains consistent communication in the form of checkups with her professors. When asked how she feels supported as a student and how that affects her mental well-being, Shyla opened up about how she believes that professors are pretty understanding of our circumstances, which relaxes her. According to a research article published in the Medical Care Research and Review that I referred to earlier, it outlined that stigma reduction efforts on college campuses may be most effective if they are targeted and tailored to the attitudes and behaviors of specific student populations, and that faculty members can reach out to students based on grouping of their personal relationships with them, their academic history, and the severity of that student facing a higher level of stigma that can cause mental distress. Shyla benefits from the strategy of grouping that many professors and faculty members perform on their students and prospects. I think it's pretty evident that Shyla feels pretty supported here at PSU, even without utilizing services like SHAC or even having a therapist. She faces no stigma and confides in her community and professors, which can be a solution for PSU to encourage professors to group their students and support them.
Andrew Morales is a faculty member here at PSU that we interviewed
about mental health, and what he basically says is that students come to PSU at various stages. Sometimes they need financial support, sometimes it's emotional. It depends on where they're at, and then we try to meet their needs. The main problem is not knowing the resources that PSU provides for its students. Mr. Morales talks about how he works at the Cultural Center, but many people don't even know about it. Personally, me, I didn't know too much about it, but when I went there, it was a great experience. A lot of students have problems with anxiety and stress. Maybe putting them in situations to help them deal with these problems is the answer. Getting out of our comfort zone is a good way to help you progress. To Mr. Morales, mental health days can be a positive thing. Getting information about these resources can be hard because the amount of emails students already receive and weekly newsletters maybe. With all that being sent to them, I think this is something that can be easily overlooked, which it really shouldn't be. For friends, communicating with them can help, and hearing what your friends are into and also following that route. There's a lot of things on this campus that can help with mental health across the board. And Mr. Morales talked about how physical activity can be one of those things. Physical activity is a way for people to get out of their own heads. And a study shows that at Portland State University, 49% of the students have felt that mental health concerns have negatively impacted their academics. Students also felt that anxiety, depression, and sleep difficulties negatively impacted as well. And the American Psychological Associated listed that college students can unplug from social media, review goals, be creative, get physical, spend time outdoors, all to help approach the mental health crisis. Mr. Morales' perspective on college students and their mental health is actually pretty accurate because after interviewing the students that we did around the campus, they all had kind of similar answers. The only thing that'd be a bit different is Mr. Morales focused more on personal strategy rather than institutional strategy like the students proposed. A few suggestions that I have that can help improve your mental health are unplug from social media. This can free up time to do things that have been neglected, and also it allows for self-reflection, which can be a positive thing. Another thing is physical, and what I mean by this is exercise. It can help with depression, reduce anxiety, tension, and also promote relaxation. Lastly, spend time outdoors. Getting out to nature can really help.
We saw this project as an opportunity to spread word about mental health. As college students, we are moving into a huge chapter in our lives. We are not only working hard to pursue our future careers, but we are also finding our path in life as well. We felt that it was important to shine light on students' voices because dealing with mental health issues can feel uncommon and lonely. We wanted people to know that someone out there knows exactly how you feel, and it can be a struggle to find help, but it is completely necessary. Portland State University has many resources for students for their mental health. Seeking for help may feel intimidating, but it is very beneficial, and it can push you further than if you were to hide your mental health issues.